Investigators of Ventnor by Colton. When a group of investigators try to figure out who has been selling drugs to people, they must bring them to justice and make things right for the city of Ventnor. Footsteps are running down the sidewalk. Antonio Graves appears running. And quat, stop, and quat, stop right now, and quat, yelled Antonio. Christy Lindsay appears running then goes down the alley. Antonio stops, looks around, then runs down the alley. Christy continues running, then gets to a fence. Shit. Christy looks around, then sees Antonio approaching. And quat, stop, and quat, yelled Antonio. Christy looks down, sees an opening in the fence, then crawls through it. Antonio approaches, then grabs Christy's legs. Christy is struggling, then kicks Antonio's face. Antonio falls onto the ground. Christy crawls through the fence, then stands up. Ha 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 ha. That's what you get, you prick, said Christy, raising her middle finger. A gun cocks. Christy's eyes widen, then she slowly turns around. Debbie French appears, pointing a handgun at Christy. What an idiot, said Debbie. Christy raises her hands. Officer number 1 walks Christy towards the police car. Still can't believe she ran, said Antonio, holding a piece of cloth to his nose. How's the nose? Asked Debbie. It's fine. She really has sharp-pointed shoes, said Antonio. That's women for you, said Debbie. Cecilia Edwards appears, approaching both Antonio and Debbie, then she stops. Well, she was hiding this from the police, said Cecilia, holding up a baggie. Pot or cocaine? Asked Debbie. We'll figure it out when we get back to the office, said Cecilia. A building appears. A fist hits the table. Fanny Manning appears, leaning over the table. This is great. My stuff is still out there. And that bitch Christy got arrested, said Fanny. What do we do now, ma'am? Asked Israel Robertson, appearing. Get that teenager who wanted to help us, said Fanny. Right, said Israel, walking away. Fanny walks towards the window. This is my town, said Fanny. The police station appears. Christy appears, sitting in a chair. Who are you holding this stuff for? Asked Antonio. I won't tell you anything, said Christy. Yeah, well, whoever you're holding this for. Just remember, you'll be going to jail for them. Now help yourself, said Antonio. I want a lawyer, said Christy. Then you'll get one, princess, said Antonio, standing up, then walking out the door. Grady Ellis appears, wearing a trench coat and a hat. What do we have, Mr. Graves? Asked Grady. This woman wants a lawyer, said Antonio. Yes, and she'll get one. Grady looks at Antonio. Are you all right, Mr. Graves? Asked Grady. I just want to find these people before teenagers start using this stuff. I have a niece of my own, said Antonio. And we'll find them, Mr. Graves. We will find them. A cell phone is ringing. Excuse me, Detective Ellis. Yes, sir. I understand. I'm on it, said Grady, hanging up his cell phone. What was that about? Asked Antonio. We are getting a new recruit. I'd like you and Miss French to show that person around, said Grady. You got it, Grady, said Antonio, walking away. Justin Frank appears, sitting in the waiting room. Footsteps are approaching. Mr. Frank, said Debbie. Yes, call me Justin. Though, said Justin. I'm Debbie French and this is my partner Antonio Graves, said Debbie. Nice to meet you, sir, said Justin. Please, it's Antonio. So, you want to train to be an investigator? asked Antonio. Yes, it was my dream for a long time, said Justin. May I ask, why? Asked Antonio. It's kinda personal, said Justin. All right, we understand. Please follow us. We'll show you around the facility, said Debbie. All three are walking away. Grady appears looking down through the window. The office door opens. Grady, you need to see this, said Cecilia, handing papers to Grady. Grady grabs the papers, then looks at them. These are the same thing, said Grady. Yes, and now, here's an autopsy report from Dr. Fields, said Cecilia. Grady looks at the piece of paper, then back at others. What am I looking at here? Cecilia asked Grady. The autopsy has the same results on the pot graph, said Cecilia. Are you telling me that someone is selling this stuff around the town? Asked Grady. That's how it works, said Cecilia. All right, I'm gonna try to figure out what the next move will be. Until then, let's hope these guys make a mistake, said Grady. The building appears. Fanny appears writing onto a piece of paper. Footsteps are approaching. Hey, careful, said Gladys Green, appearing in the distance. Fanny stands up. Good work, Israel, said Fanny. Mrs. Manning. I didn't think you wanted me here, said Gladys. Why would you think that? Asked Fanny. Because the last time you told me to fuck off, said Gladys. Yes, well, today's your lucky day, Gladys. You'll be part of the greatest drug lords ever. I need you to do me a favor, said Fanny. Anything, said Gladys. Good, said Fanny, nodding his head. Israel places a few bags of pot onto the table. What's that? Asked Gladys. 20 pounds of cocaine. I need you to take that downtown for me. You'll meet a person there. You'll give it to him, said Fanny. All right, and what if I'm caught? Asked Gladys. Don't get caught, because if you do. Fanny approaches Gladys, walks around her, grabs her hair, then pulls her head back. A knife appears next to Gladys's throat. I'll kill you, said Fanny. Yes, ma'am, said Gladys. Now, get out of here. Gladys grabs the bags, then walks away. Fanny looks at Israel. Follow her, said Fanny. The office door opens. Grady. This is Justin, said Antonio. Grady looks at Justin. Wow, you're Detective Ellis. I read everything about you, sir, said Justin. Well, I hope it was all good, said Grady. It was, sir, said Justin. Great, said Grady. We were saving the best for last, Grady, said Antonio. Well, I'm honored, said Grady, smiling. Footsteps are approaching. Grady, we got a problem. Oh, Antonio, thank God you're here, said Cecilia. Why? What's up? Asked Antonio. A police car just pulled over a car with some cocaine in the glove compartment, said Cecilia. What does this have to do with me? Asked Antonio. It was your niece, Gladys Green, said Cecilia. Footsteps are walking. Officer number 2 is walking alongside Gladys. Gladys gets uncuffed, then sits into the police car. Antonio is walking past the glass. Gladys looks up, then her eyes widen. The door opens. What the hell's wrong with you? Asked Antonio. Uncle Antonio, please hear me out, said Gladys. Hear you out? You were caught with 20 pounds of cocaine. That's illegal, said Antonio. I know it is, said Gladys. How can you make a stupid mistake? Asked Antonio. Like you've never made a mistake before, said Gladys. This ain't about me, Gladys. You're the one in trouble, said Antonio. Mr. Graves, please escort yourself out of the room, said Grady. Grady, I got this, said Antonio. I'm not asking you to. I'm telling you. Leave now, before you make this worse on yourself, said Grady. Antonio looks at Gladys. I'm so disappointed in you, said Antonio. Mr. Graves. Antonio walks out of the room, then knocks over the water cooler. Grady watches Antonio walking away, then looks at Gladys. Miss Green, right? Asked Grady. Yes, sir, said Gladys. May I ask you a few questions? Asked Grady. Yeah, said Gladys. Grady sits down into the chair across from Gladys, takes off his hat, then puts it onto the table. Miss Green, you realize you're in a lot of trouble, said Grady. Yes, I know that, said Gladys. Why were you carrying 20 pounds of cocaine? Asked Grady. Someone told me to drop it off, said Gladys. May I ask where? Asked Grady. At some place, said Gladys. Miss Green, if you can't answer my questions, I will be disappointed. And your uncle also doesn't want to see you go to jail, especially at only 25 years old. Now, was someone supposed to pick up the bag of cocaine? Asked Grady. I really can't say, said Gladys. Miss Green, I can't help you, unless you help yourself, said Grady. The woman said, and quot, she'd kill me if I got caught. And quot, I'm worried if I get out, she'll keep her word, said Gladys. Miss Green, no one is gonna hurt you, as long as you're in my protection. Plus, your uncle and the other officers, said Grady. I'm sorry, I can't say any more, said Gladys. I understand. Grady stands up, puts on his hat, then walks towards the door. You'll be fine, Miss Green, said Grady. Cecilia looks at Grady. So, what did she say? Asked Cecilia. Not much, said Grady. So, we don't know who she's helping? Asked Cecilia. Actually, she said, and quot, a woman, and quot, I guarantee it's one of the drug lords, said Grady. Do you know how many drug lords there are? We'll be here for weeks, said Cecilia. Start with the female drug lords, said Grady, walking away. Antonio appears standing outside the police station, leaning against the banister. Debbie approaches Antonio. Are you all right? Asked Debbie. No, I'm not. My niece is in the interrogation room, said Antonio. Hey, we'll get through this. We always do, said Debbie. I really hope so, said Antonio. Justin approaches both Antonio and Debbie. Hey guys, sorry I heard your niece was in the interrogation room. How are you holding up? Asked Justin. Fine, just fine, said Antonio. Hey, if you need anything, know that I'm here, said Justin, patting Antonio onto his back. Thanks, Justin, said Antonio. The sound of tires squealing in the distance. A car approaches. In the distance, then turns. A gun fires. Everyone get down, said Debbie. People are being shot. Antonio, Debbie and Justin are firing their handguns. The car drives away. Is everyone all right? Asked Antonio. People appear laying on the ground. Justin kneels next to injured teenager number 1. You're gonna be all right, said Justin. Oh my God, my baby, said woman number 1. Ma'am, I need you to step back, said Justin. Both Cecilia and Grady are running outside of the police station. Mr. Graves, what the hell happened? Asked Grady. A drive-by. Someone in a gold SUV type of vehicle, said Antonio. Debbie, did you see the license? Asked Grady. No, It happened too quickly, said Debbie. I didn't see it either, said Antonio. Get the injured people inside. We need a lot of coroners, said Cecilia. Teenager number 1 continues gasping. Just hold on. All right. Just hold on, said Justin. Teenager number 1 starts gasping faster, exhales last breath, then goes limp. Justin looks at woman number 1. I'm sorry, said Justin. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, my baby. No, said woman number 1, crying, then falling onto the ground. Justin looks, sees a pin, then grabs it. Bodies are being placed onto carts. This is a monster. Whoever did this, said Cecilia. No, monsters aren't people. People are just pure evil. And we're dealing with that right now, said Grady, looking at Cecilia. So, what's the plan? Asked Cecilia. How many female drug lords did you find? Asked Grady. Only about a dozen of them, said Cecilia. All right, maybe if we get lucky we'll find a clue, said Grady, looking at Justin. Is something wrong? Asked Cecilia, looking at Grady. I believe Justin might know more than he thinks, said Grady. You think he's a spy for the woman? Asked Cecilia. No, but I have a feeling he knows something about this, said Grady. Justin continues, looking at the pin. Man, half a dozen people are dead. I just can't believe who did this is capable of doing this, said Antonio. Yeah, me either, said Debbie. Hey, what's with you and that pin? Asked Antonio. I've seen this symbol somewhere before, said Justin. Where? Asked Debbie. Yes, Mr. Frank, we're here. Have you seen it before? Asked Grady. Justin looks at all 4 of them. Is there a place where we could talk privately? Asked Justin. The interrogation room, said Cecilia. All 5 are walking into the interrogation room. The door shuts. So, Mr. Frank, tell us what you know, said Grady. A long time ago, I was living on this street where drugs would be passed around. It was the biggest thing. Growing up, well, my father was a drug addict. He owed a lot of money to some guy, a Mr. Rodriguez, I believe he called himself. Well, one day, my dad was supposed to pay him the money back. Well, he didn't have any. So, Mr. Rodriguez paid a little visit. He shot my father in his head, then kept firing the rounds into his body, then had his men empty their guns, said Justin. Were you home at the time? Asked Debbie. No, I was in school. By the time I got home, I found my father's body laying on the floor of our house. Most of his blood was already out of his body. And the sad part was, my neighbors heard the shots fired and did nothing. I was the one who called the police. So, I grew up and decided to become an officer, said Justin. I'm so sorry, Mr. Frank, said Grady. What does this have to do with the pin? Asked Antonio. After I became a cop, one night, my partner and I were investigating this place. It was a drug warehouse. We brought everyone down. Then I saw it. This symbol was painted onto the wall. Then a few weeks later, I saw it again, but this time, it was a pin, just like this. I believe Mr. Rodriguez is here in Ventnor, trying to do it all over again, said Justin. That's why you came here, said Grady. If Mr. Rodriguez is out there, I want to find him and arrest him myself, said Justin. You will, Mr. Frank. I promise you that, said Grady. We need to find the main person, said Antonio. Well, your niece said, and quote, a woman told her to deliver the drugs, and quote, I believe it's a friend of Mr. Rodriguez, said Grady. How do we find her? We have over a dozen names, said Cecilia. Start by who is in Ventnor, New Jersey, said Grady. Walking away. The building appears. Footsteps are approaching. Tammy Adams appears. Well, well, well. I love the place. Ain't for me though, said Tammy. Nice work at the crime lab, said Fanny. Hey, just doing my job. So, where's my money? Asked Tammy. Right inside that briefcase. Tammy smiles, then approaches the briefcase. The briefcase unlocks. You don't trust me, Tammy? Asked Fanny. When was the last time you gave me my whole lot? Asked Tammy. All right, said Fanny. The briefcase opens. Money appears inside of the briefcase. All right, $500,000. Nice. Doing business with you, said Tammy, shutting the briefcase. Same with you, said Fanny. Tammy smiles. Then walks past Israel. Are you just gonna let her leave? Asked Israel. Israel, Tammy is a great killer. If I need her again, I'll find her, if I need to. But, right now, I don't need her anymore, said Fanny, smiling. Tammy appears walking towards her car. The car alarm beeps. The driver door opens. Tammy gets into her car. The key goes into the ignition. Miami. Here I come, said Tammy, turning the key. The car explodes. Answer explosion in the distance. Israel ducks, then looks at Fanny. I guess you didn't need her anymore, said Israel. No, I didn't, said Fanny. The police station appears. Did you guys get anything yet? Asked Grady. Not yet, said Antonio. Well, I did get it down to 5 potential suspects. Because these others don't deal in Ventnor anymore, said Justin. That means we are getting closer. Good work, Mr. Frank, said Grady. Grady, we just got word. An explosion in a parking lot just went down. We're sending people over there now, said Cecilia. Great. I'll drive, said Grady. I'll stay here and continue helping out. Because, if it's something else, the drug lord could have another plan, said Cecilia. Good idea, said Grady. I'll go with you, Grady, said Debbie. Let's roll, said Grady. Both Debbie and Grady are walking away. The police cars are driving, then going into the parking garage. The doors are opening. Debbie is looking around. Sir, the car is over here. We put it out and found a body inside the car, said Officer number 3. Thank you, officer. Both Debbie and Grady are approaching the burnt car. Oh my, said Grady. She's burnt to a crisp. What would make this explode? Asked Debbie. Grady lays onto his belly, then looks underneath the burnt car. Because there was a bomb underneath the car, said Grady. Who'd put a bomb underneath this woman's car? Do you think she was a dealer? Asked Debbie. Grady sees the briefcase, pulls out a pen, then drags it from underneath the burnt car. The lid of the burnt briefcase opens. The money appears burnt. Whoever did this gave this woman a lot of money, said Grady. Do you think it was the shooter from earlier? Asked Debbie. Could be, said Grady, typing on the keyboards. Find anything else out? Asked Cecilia. Nothing yet, said Justin, looking at Cecilia's arm. A tattoo appears underneath Cecilia's sleeve. Nice tattoo, said Justin. Thanks. Antonio, did you find anything? Asked Cecilia. Not yet, ma'am. This person is really hard to find, said Antonio. I'll be right back, said Cecilia. Where are you going? Asked Cecilia. Need to Go to the bathroom, said Cecilia, walking away. Justin watches Cecilia walking away. Are you all right, man? Asked Antonio. Yeah, I'm fine, said Justin. Cecilia walks into the bathroom, then pulls out her cell phone. The buttons are being pressed. Hey, it's me. Is everything good over there? Asked Cecilia. Everything is fine here. They are searching the parking garage, said Fanny, appearing. But you're all right? Asked Cecilia. Yes, I'm fine, said Fanny. Oh, thank God. You need to hurry up. These people are getting closer. And I think this new recruit is on to me, said Cecilia. Don't worry. I have it all under control, said Fanny. All right, said Cecilia, hanging up her cell phone, then turning around. Justin appears, pointing his handgun at Cecilia. Don't you move, said Justin. What are you doing? Asked Cecilia. I knew something was up, and then I saw the tattoo on your arm. It's the same symbol. You're the drug lord, said Justin. Don't be ridiculous. The drug lord doesn't even show themselves, said Cecilia. The handgun cocks. Put your arms behind your back now, said Justin. I wouldn't do that. Justin stares at Cecilia. Fine. Hands behind your back, said Cecilia, turning around, then smiles. Justin approaches Cecilia, then pulls out a pair of handcuffs. You're nothing but a stinking liar and a coward, said Justin. All right, just remember, I don't work alone, said Cecilia. Justin gets hit from behind, then falls onto the bathroom floor. Israel appears. Are you all right? Asked Israel. Yeah, cuff him to the sink. Is Fanny here? Asked Cecilia. Outside, said Israel. Cecilia walks out of the bathroom, then sees Fanny. Hey, beautiful, said Fanny. Both Cecilia and Fanny start kissing. I didn't think I'd see you again. We need to leave. He knows about me, said Cecilia. Then let's go, said Fanny. Israel walks out of the bathroom. Deal with the other cop, said Cecilia. Yes, ma'am, said Israel, walking away. Antonio continues typing onto the keyboard. Footsteps are approaching. Hey guys, what took you so long? Are you having an affair? Antonio continues typing onto the keyboard, then sees the reflection of Israel on his computer screen. Shit, said Antonio, quickly moving. The handgun fires. The computer explodes. Israel points his handgun at Antonio. Antonio moves the handgun, then punches Israel. Israel grabs Antonio by his shirt, then throws him. Antonio goes over the table. Israel points his handgun again, then walks around the table. Antonio is gone. Israel is looking around. A creaking sound. Israel turns around. Antonio jumps over a different table, then hits Israel with the keyboard. Israel falls to the floor, then drops his handgun. Antonio looks at the handgun, then reaches for it. Israel trips Antonio. Both Antonio and Israel are rolling on the floor. Antonio lays on top of Israel, then punches him. Israel headbutts Antonio, rolls on top of him, then starts squeezing his throat. Antonio is struggling for air. A gun fires. Israel gets shot in his side, then falls off of Antonio. Antonio is coughing, then looks up. Justin is holding his handgun. Are you all right? Asked Justin. Yeah, thanks for the assist, said Antonio. You're welcome, said Justin. Israel is groaning. You have the right to remain silent, said Antonio, putting Israel's arms behind his back. You won't stop them, said Israel. Mr. Rodriguez will be arrested, said Antonio. It's not him we need to worry about, Antonio. It's Cecilia, said Justin. Footsteps are running. Both Cecilia and Fanny are getting into a car. The car starts, then drives away. You have the money, right, baby? Asked Cecilia. You know I do, said Fanny. Great. Now where? Asked Cecilia. Out of the country, said Fanny. Cecilia smiles. The parking garage appears. Tommy's burnt body is being moved. A cell phone starts ringing. Detective Ellis. Mr. Graves. Did you find the person in charge? Asked Grady. Actually, sir, she found us. It's Cecilia, Grady. Cecilia's working with a woman and a man. We arrested the man. He's in the waiting cell. Now we are trying to find Cecilia, said Antonio. Okay. Listen to me. Cecilia's family has a helicopter. They might head to the airfield, said Grady. Meet you there, said Antonio. Grady hangs up his cell phone, then looks at Debbie. Did they find the woman? Asked Debbie. Actually, they found a mole instead. Come on, said Grady. The car continues. Driving, then pulls into the parking lot. The doors open, then shut. Come on, baby, said Fanny. Both Cecilia and Fanny run towards the helicopter. The helicopter starts. Hurry up, baby, said Cecilia. The helicopter doors open. And quat, Cecilia, and quat, Cecilia stops, then turns around. Antonio, Debbie, Grady and Justin appear, pointing their handguns. Slowly come away from the helicopter, said Grady. You know, I didn't want this life. I just wanted to do my job. I loved being an officer. Until I met Fanny. She's my baby, said Cecilia. I understand. Now step away from the helicopter, said Grady. Fanny looks at Cecilia. Go. Go, Cecilia, said Fanny. Not without you, said Fanny. I won't. Say it again. Step away from the helicopter, said Grady. Cecilia, I love you. Know that, said Fanny. If we go together, said Cecilia, kissing Fanny. Both Cecilia and Fanny point their handguns. Guns, said Justin. The guns continuously firing. Both Cecilia and Fanny are being shot. Then fall onto the ground. The helicopter turns off. All four run towards both Cecilia and Fanny. The handguns are being kicked away. Cecilia continuously gasping. It's all right, Cecilia, said Grady. I love her, said Cecilia, gasping her last breath, then goes limp. Both Cecilia's and Fanny's bodies are being carried onto two stretchers. Sorry about finding out this way, sir, said Justin. You did a great job, Mr. Frank, said Grady. How are you doing, Antonio? Asked Debbie. I'm fine, said Antonio. Good, said Debbie. Officer number 1 approaches. Detective Ellis, this envelope was delivered by a man, he said, and quat. It was very important, and quat, said officer number 1. Thank you, said Grady. Did you win a trip, Grady? Asked Antonio. Grady opens the envelope, then pulls out a piece of paper. The piece of paper is being unfolded. And quat, Dear Detective Ellis and his friends. If you think this is over, you're wrong. It's just the beginning. And just because you have found out about Cecilia doesn't mean you won. You see, I run this town. I always have. And you won't stop me, even if you have Officer Frank with you. And until we meet, I'll be watching you. Grady. Sincerely, Mr. Rodriguez. And quat, said Grady. So, Mr. Rodriguez is here, said Justin. You were right, Mr. Frank, said Grady. Don't worry, we'll get him, said Antonio. Yeah, but what do we do until then? Asked Debbie. Do what we usually do. Grady puts on his hat. Our job, said Grady. Walking away. The end.